Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And Jacob Weil.
It's time yet again to explore the vast catalog and find out what's a must or a bust on Disney Plus. And tonight, to celebrate 100 years of the Disney Animation Studio, we're breaking down Once Upon a Studio. That's right, folks. Everyone is here.
Yes, everyone. Everyone.
Except for probably the red man from Peter Pan. He probably didn't get an invite.
Well, it seems like all the main characters are
Yeah, I know. Anyways. Okay, so we got Z and K in the chat really quick, buddy. I see you. A lot of stuff right off the top. So he's saying this was good. A long story short review without going off for 10 hours. When the trailer first dropped, I pondered that this would roughly follow the structure of the Magic Store finale from the Muppet movie. I can't believe I was right. Yeah, that's true. It's everything I expect to be so much more. I'm sorry, guys. I just want to make sure we get these comments out right away. I still can't get over how, from a behind-the-scenes view, both myself and the directors were planning our own 100th anniversary projects, not only the same year, but the same season on them. Okay, the only complaint I have is I wish it were longer. But hey, there's always fanfic, fan art, expanding other scenarios. At least until we have an official bleed scenes concepts. The rest will just piggyback. Okay, we're good to go. I'm sorry, guys. It's just that was a lot of text, and I was very intimidated and distracted by it. Dragon, why don't you tell us how you felt about this?
Yeah, so this is the big tribute for the 100-year anniversary for the company. Yeah, I mean, I think you see all the hard work in the final presentation. I think stuff like Roger Rabbit and Paperman really they paved the way to get us something like this. It feels like Chippendale Rescue Rangers. The Rescue Rangers movie was kind of like the beta testing for like, this is kind of what we want to do. We kind of want to iron out the kinks, and lo and behold, we're gonna have this amazing short that's gonna dazzle us all and be this huge undertaking. It's got charm for days. I think it does capture kind of like the spirit of the company, and I was impressed. Like, you know what? With the exception of, again, as Tiki kind of highlighted, some of the problematic historical stuff. Everyone shows up. Like, there's no well, these didn't perform, so we're not going to throw them in there. Like, everyone was there. Even the obscure pools and the wide shot. We got as many characters as they could, and even the ones that didn't show up in the final image, they're represented elsewhere in the short. It was rather impressive. It was a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. Honestly, I thought it was going to be like a quicker sort of thing. I didn't expect everyone to be there. I expected, okay, just going to pick and choose a few characters.
I told you last night, Dragon. Everyone is.
So
here.
I know. I'm saying in the thing leading up to when you told me that. But yes, yeah, that's what I'm saying. When I saw this thing advertised way back, I was like, okay, it's probably just gonna be this cute little 3-minute or so short, 5 if we're lucky. I don't know, but I don't know, it's always gonna be something like, and hey, we're celebrating the thing, and it'll be like a thing you get excited about. It's gonna be like barely a trailer, and it was a lot more than that. It was I was quite impressed.
All right, Jacob.
Speaking, first thing to bring up something that Dragon mentioned. Roger Rabbit, unfortunately, was not seen anywhere in this special.
Tragically.
Oh, I did not even notice that. Yeah.
From what I can tell, Roger Rabbit does not appear. Otherwise, they probably.
I know. I think I know
like
why.
A weird like gray area.
I think I know why Roger Rabbit isn't in this.
Is it because it's technically a Touchstone movie?
Exactly. If you look at all the characters in this, like, we didn't have like the characters that were like they were Disney connected. We had the people that are purely they showed up in the movies. That's all the.
What about Scrooge McDuck?
I'm getting there.
I'm sorry.
Technically, the animation.
I'm sorry.
I know. I'm getting there.
And since it was my turn to talk, I'm just trying to say, like, technically they did do a couple shorts about Scrooge, so he does count.
Uh-huh.
So I guess the core studio stuff, which even extends beyond the movies. So you do have stuff like like the the Mickey's Christmas Carol and other things, and especially like the early Walt era stuff. Like we see the trees in the background there, and we have some of the other stuff like the I forget it's the blue suit, the blue coupe. Basically, one of the references they had for cars is there on the right. You can kind of see the blue car with the yellow hair looking top.
Uh-huh.
That's what I'm saying. So the point is, like, overall, it's like very Disney specific, or like, anything animated directly in that studio or correlated, either Walt's touched or as kind of gone within the Walt Disney Animation Studios banner. So stuff on the outskirts, like Roger Rabbit.
Line from a Goofy movie.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
and that's why we don't have any of the TV players on there as well.
Uh-huh.
It's like studios and like anyway.
Can you imagine if they tried to fit in all the characters from the TV shows?
They'd have to acknowledge Buzz Lightyear's fuck, man. I know they probably
Maybe.
wouldn't.
Well, who knows if Disney TV animation does an anniversary, they'll do something similar.
Yeah, we have to wait till 100
That's
years.
true. I would love them to do something similar, Jacob.
We're not going to be around in 100 years.
I mean, that doesn't have to be 100-year
It
anniversary.
could be like the 50th anniversary of Disney Afternoon. Let's say that.
But then you're going to have the thing if they have a couple things that are like outside Disney Afternoon, so it's not going to be
All right.
Anywho, Jacob, go and continue.
Yes, now I can give my actual thoughts on this whole thing.
Yes, please do.
It's like I'm always kind of interested in these kinds of things. Like I really enjoy the mixed media aspect of this in a way. It's like obviously all like the mixtures of the different styles, from like even like the different drawing styles of all the characters like maintain the style they were drawn in or computer animated in, which is really cool. But like definitely gives props to the short's attention to detail. If you look at the credits, they even brought back a lot of the animators who worked on the original movies just to do the short, which I thought was like really impressive. It's like several of them who haven't even worked at the studio for years have come back to work for this, which really like how monumental this whole thing is. Like, and going into it, I was like, I didn't know what to expect. Like, but I guess like. It could have gone whole. I was like, hey, look at all the characters we have. But like, no, it actually ended up being like a love letter. Like all the characters just having fun, interacting with each other, and ended on a very, very nice, heartwarming note.
I am also a pretty big fan of this. I love all the deep cuts that they gave. One of the big things that got to me here was because I did work for the Walt Disney Family Museum for about a year. Obviously this is not the Walt Disney Family Museum, but just it being in like a Disney location, I got to admit, like when we're going around to like the cafe and stuff like that, I was definitely like filling in my mind like what would this look like if it was at the museum instead of the studio. Like the locations and stuff that they would use. So that was fun. I don't know. One fun fact that I want to point out, I told Jacob this. I don't know if Dragon knows. Out of all the characters that came back, Dragon, guess who doesn't have a single voice role in this?
Who?
Corey Burden.
Get out of here.
Corey Burden has no credited role in this.
Well, yeah, that is kind of fair. Another thing
Isn't that weird?
Well, that's the thing. So, was Ludwig von Drake in this?
No.
No.
Well, that explains it.
So yeah, I think my only nitpicks with this is like Stitch should have had a bigger role, but that's obviously personal bias. I honestly, generally, I feel like the only real missed opportunity, I think, is I would have loved to see some sort of interaction with the Emperor's New Groove characters and other Disney characters, just because, like, it doesn't matter which, it's like, I would love to see, like, Gaston and Kronk interact, for example. That would be fucking amazing. That would be a meeting of the minds.
Wait, who in Kronk?
Gaston.
Ah, yes.
But it's like with those sort of crossovers and stuff, it's like there's obviously like a million possibilities. So it's like I feel like what we did get was really, really on point. I like that we don't linger on any one character for too long. It feels like a Simpsons couch gag, but in the best of ways, in my opinion.
Yeah, a lot of the big players got memorable bits in there, and the rest were like, "Oh my god, look at them!"
Right, right. And of course, we have the big moment, and I
We
will
do.
just call it the big moment, and we will get there.
I do have a Scotia background because this is quite the undertaking. If you want me to just kind of rattle it off real quick.
Really quick, we have Zine K in the chat here. He's saying,
He says that Ludwig actually was there next to Fire Tuck after Eeyore's.
yeah, but he doesn't have a speaking role though.
Yeah, like that's what we're talking about. There was no Corey Burton in this.
I'm not going to get into potential pairings. We'd be here for hours. Yes, indeed, we would be. You're right. All right, Dragon. Yeah, some background would be valued for sure.
Yes, this was directed, I believe, written as well by Dan Abram and Trent Corey. So yeah, these guys. So Abram worked on Once Upon a Snowman, the Olaf shorts, and the Baymax series they did, and Space Jam, which again I bring up because of the little intersect. He was an animator on Space Jam, which kind of brings in kind of like the live action 2D interaction between mediums, so a little foreshadow to the future. Trent Corey, he also worked on Once Upon a Snowman, so that's probably where they kind of got a little chummy together, directing episodes of that. He did Zootopia Plus and one of the short circuits. So let's see. So this was the result of an 8-month endeavor of planning for the 100th anniversary. Took a lot of intensive work, as Jacob alluded to. We brought back a bunch of classic animators, as well as some new blood. Some of just to highlight a few of the great returning talents. Eric Goldberg, he was pretty much leading the charge on a lot of this. He animated the Genie and the Big Moment.
Well, technically, Eric Goldberg's been there the entire time.
Well, yes, he's all right. Fine.
What I mean is, like, what I was referring to was like people who haven't been there for years that came back to work on it.
Right. And returning to characters they haven't worked on in a long time.
Yes.
So you got Mark Henn, the great Mark Henn. You got James Baxter, Tony Bancroft, a whole bunch of the old guys coming back.
I actually followed Tony Bancroft on, I guess now I keep saying Twitter, but now it's X, I guess.
That's why he carries mace now. No, I'm kidding.
but like I actually followed him, and that's where I first heard that like old animators are returning to the studio to work on. He basically said it was my honor to return to work on this project.
Yeah. Of course, Tiki and I very recently were talking about Mark Henn with the Full House, Full House Disneyland.
Yes.
Adventure. So yeah, best way I can describe it is they kind of used the Paperman method on this, in that 80% of this was hand drawn, but I believe the interim is like the interaction between the CG component and like anytime the 2D stuff interacts with like the 3D environment or like the live action environment. I forget if the exterior was entirely rendered in CG just so things would go easier or not. That's probably that it was. I think it was so impressively shot that might be the case, but there's a chance they could have just had like the actual live action like backgrounds for the ending. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's pointing interactions, a majority of which, like when these characters are interacting with each other, especially if they're in different mediums, it's probably a little somehow like an offshoot like what the Paperman method was with the blending of the two mediums. I'd assume.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, cool little fun fact: every time you see even the CG characters come back in this. They had to rebuild those CG models from scratch, much like they did with the Pixar movies with Toy Story 3. And anytime we've returned to a Pixar franchise, every installment, they have to rebuild those models from scratch because the animation's updated. So same principle here.
That's insane. Like, like you can tell like this entire short was like a monumental uptaking.
Yeah. Lastly, sadly, one of the great cameos in this, Bernie Mattinson.
Yes, like he was like the guy walking out at the beginning.
Yes, but isn't it timely that he's just like immortalized in this though?
It is.
It is quite.
He literally worked at the studio for over 70 years.
I will admit there is one thing that does occur to me with all this. There's only one other man who's in his class who was kind of absent here. Floyd Norman.
Oh yeah, that's a good pull.
Now I forget. I don't know if the seniorities at Bernie was there a little bit longer. Him. That's why they went with them. I mean, it's possible. I know they were there around. Here's the thing. So Lady and the Tramp came out before Sleeping Beauty, right?
Yes. Lady and the Tramp was
Okay.
55, Sleeping Beauty was 59.
All right, then in that case, yeah. So Bernie's been around slightly longer than Floyd Norman, if I have that right. Because Floyd Norman I know was there for Sleeping Beauty. I don't know if he was there before Sleeping Beauty or not. That's probably why we went with him. But still, it just feels like I don't know if that's like a thing
so
of like
trippy to think that Don Bluth was there for Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah. So again, I don't know if that goes to speak of like maybe it's just we wanted to focus on the one guy who's probably the oldest living Disney employee. I guess is the logic there. Is probably that's why we want to have this guy. Plus Matt Madison, he has an interesting story. This guy started in the mailroom, ended up like as an animation director, at Disney.
And honestly, that might be part of it, just because it's like a very much like a he represents kind of like the everyman of the like anyone can be an animator, anyone can cook.
Absolutely. So he yes. So he apparently he did see the final product. Thank goodness he did see the final product before he passed. Like again, he shot this roughly 8 months or so before whenever they shot it before he passed, because he passed in February this year, I believe. But yeah, so he did see it, and he said he loved it. So thank goodness he was able to see it and kind of enjoy. Like he went out seeing something, kind of embodied everything he worked on his entire career, seeing the studio flourish, 100 years.
Nice.
Okay.
I mean, and the studio is only like 30 or so years old when he joined.
Yeah.
So he's literally been there for over half of the studio's existence.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from 1953 to 2023.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unreal, but amazing.
Okay, all that said, let's break it down, gentlemen. We start at the animation building.
Yep, the Roy E. Disney Animation Building.
Yep. So the idea here, in case I got them, as much as all the nice things I think we're going to say about this short, there is one.
They forgot to mention Roy.
I mean, his name's on the building, Jacob.
I know, but they said Walt founded this. It's like, yes, he founded it with Roy. It was originally called the Disney Brothers Animation Studio.
Right. Anyway,
I don't know. I think that's a little. I mean, like Dragon said, his name is literally on the building.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
So an actual.
Wait, yeah, go on.
An actual nitpick with this, so many nice things I'm going to say about this thing. One thing does stand out, and I wonder if you guys had the same thing. So we're going for a passing of the torch moment, which is really nice in concept, a really beautiful idea.
Wait, technically it's Roy O. Disney that founded Disney. Roy E. Disney is his son.
Okay, yeah, sure, all right.
I'm just trying to get our facts straight here. But go on.
Anyway, yeah. So I do respect the passing of the torch thing they're going for. On paper, that's a beautiful idea, and it kind of does make you feel warm and fuzzy with the Bernie Mattinson of it all, knowing how long that guy's been there. So we have him walking out the building with the young intern. The problem is, this young intern, she can't act her way out of a paper bag, man.
Yeah, it's not a great performance. Yeah, I had that.
At the very, even if it's not her fault, the exposition they've given her is super, super choppy. It's the choppiest.
Right.
Yep. But Bernie does a good job.
He's gangbusters here. He's wonderful. I respect what they're going for. The young intern, it's a passing of the torch. But like her saying 100 years ago today. She's like a deranged tour guide. It's not going well.
He totally does give tour guide energy. That's a great.
Like 100 years ago today, all the talented artists, the wonderful character. Could we do a take two, please?
Oh my god!
For the love of God. Anyway, it's like it's 100 years, man. Let's put some emphasis.
Dragon, that actress is going to see this stream and she's going to be like, "Oh joy, people are going into detail." Look,
it's nothing personal. I'm sure she could have done a great job. I'm just saying they really should have given her better direction or a take two for the live action portion. That was only one scene in this. I mean, Bernie studied acting for all these animated characters. Bernie's a master class. So you can't a Mattinson class, if you will. You can't put
God.
yourself shoulder to shoulder with that man. He's up there.
That was a very forced pun.
Right.
Yes, it was. Okay, point being, then Bernie, well, it doesn't help that Bernie's eclipsing her like tenfold here either. So Bernie says, "Yep, if these walls could talk," which is the perfect line that gives us everything that follows. And also, if you're going to give this guy some final words, those are some final words to give him.
Oh yeah.
Guy walking out of the building for the last time and into the Ethereum.
As C&K points out. All right.
So, who's the first character to come to life, Tiki?
I mean, naturally, it's going to be Mickey.
I like the first two characters, though. Think about it. You have Mickey, and then you have Tinkerbell, like the two synonymous symbols of the Disney company.
That's a good point, yeah. Even before Minnie.
Yeah. I think that's intentional. It has to be intentional. It's almost like in Toy Story. It's like, okay, what's Woody's first line going to be? You need something that's going to be the first thing your character says. So we have to start this thing off on a really good note. So
I'm sorry, Jacob. What were you going to say?
I was just thinking it's rather interesting that they chose Chris Diamond topless to do the voice of Mickey over his other current voice actor Brett Iwan.
That was a weird call. I kind of agree. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think he does a really good job. It's just kind of weird how they sort of flip flop.
I mean, I think it's in this case they went with Chris because he sounds closer to the Walt era Mickey.
Sure, you're probably
the
right.
show that is on,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So there are some of my only nitpicks here are basically going to be like where I can kind of like read between the lines of like, oh, Disney's kind of doing some low-key advertising here. I see what you're doing, Disney.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, one of those things is the fact that Tiana shows up like literally right after our introduction, just because it's like, hey, look, it's Tiana, star of the new Tiana's Bio Adventure opening in 2024. I don't know. Call me cynical. I'm sorry.
I had a different moment of like calling out, okay, that's some force. That's definitely them trying to sell something there.
Well, I mean, there is literally a moment like that is very much trying to sell you something. I think that's what you're talking about.
You mean the appearance of Asha?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know it's like a technicality of, well, if the 100th anniversary is this year, then
technically her movie is being made as part of the 100th anniversary.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Yes, she would be in there, but it very much feels like, and we're putting her in during the big song.
I literally didn't even know her name. That's how uninvested I am in Wish.
They just put her down as the Wish girl.
right.
I'm the only one who knew her name.
Yep.
Yes, you are, Jacob.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. All right. So, Tiana's telling everyone to get ready. Pinocchio pops his head out. That's today. That's now.
Yeah, so basically the premise of this whole thing is Mickey has signaled the rest of them. We're basically doing an endgame style, like a Portal scene, but on the Disney playing field here. We're all assembling here for the big picture time. Yeah.
Stepping out of their
ways, a really good idea.
They're stepping out of their frames to get into a picture.
Yep.
Okay, CK says, well, it's not like she turned around to picture the prayer trio. I'm sorry. I could just picture that.
That actually would have been really.
There is a picture of like the Brer trio, and she's like, not today, fellas.
In all seriousness, that if they actually did that, how do you think everyone would have responded? You think it would?
There's no way they would have done that, Drake. I can't even answer that question because it's just not in the realm of possibility.
But just in a what if situation, in just what if kind of scenario here. What would you? I mean, would you think that's a classy move, or would you think that's a forced? What do you think?
I just cannot pick. The only thing I can picture them doing is having Brer Rabbit like if you squint, you can make him out.
No, I'm saying literally do what you suggest. What ZK suggested.
Not today, fellas.
No, I'm just saying, like, literally, what if it was a silent bit where they're about to come to life, flips the picture and just like, whistles.
I love it.
Or even better, oh god, for a moment, what if she whistles zippity doo dah as she walks up?
Oh my god, yes. All right. Oh, Jesus Christ.
There
Okay,
you go.
let's see. Z&K is pointing out that it has a House of Mouse vibe, which I agree.
Yeah.
So Night at the Museum meets. What is the Magic Store?
Well,
Does anyone know what the Magic Store is?
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing because he said Magic Store. Yes.
It is a store where you have magic.
Yeah, but it's capitalized though.
Well, that's the thing. Earlier, ZNK mentioned Magic
Store.
Oh,
right. The Muppet movie finale. Yeah.
So I never knew that we called the Magic Store the Muppet movie, but I guess that's it then.
All right.
I always looked at it as like that's them, shooting their movie or doing the big production number based on like after they got the Rich and Famous contract.
We have Little Blue in the comments also, and he said, I understand it, but overall I'm sad that not a lot of celebrities came back to voice the characters and not all of them talk. I mean, honestly, Little Blue, like with all due respect, I think we got quite a bit of people coming back. We got like Tom Hulse, Jeremy Irons. You see Disney, Jeremy Irons can still do Scar. God damn it!
I think it's probably more of his like budgeting and stuff like that.
Again, the one I'm really bummed about is that we didn't get Warburton back as Kronk.
Yeah, it was again. There's only so much time.
I know, but Kronk would just be if I want to see a crossover with anyone, it'd be anyone in Kronk.
We always want to see more Kronk, Tiki. It's a bylaw. It's in the Constitution.
Oh God! All right, so Judy and Nick come out of their painting.
Yep. Their lithograph, I guess.
I guess.
They hop out of there making a bunny pun, and then again we have the Bolt cast, we have the Rescuers. My favorite, this one actually hit me in the feels, kind of like in terms of my nostalgia. Peter Pan shows up, and we have Bobby Driscoll. Yep.
I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah, so Peter Pan shows up. You already have some Bobby Driscoll going on there, but more so just him saying, because I can't tell you how many times I've put in DVDs over the years, and they have that ad where it's like they have like the you're basically trying to get you to buy the DVD or do like the watch movies anywhere thing. And
here we go.
Yeah, him doing like the whole "here we go," and it's delightful hearing him say that. And then he can find it.
And then just the animation of them flying around the lobby, I think, is honestly probably some of the most impressive of the whole short. I think.
I mean, I always love that scene in Peter. I always love that scene in Peter Pan. So seeing that happen was just something really special, and giving it like the whole "here we go," then giving it some ambiance and a little bit of like a little reference to Disney marketing, but also it's just like it's a magical moment from that movie. It's great. That gets us from point A to point B in spectacular fashion. Speaking of which, so we have
to have Awkwafina.
Yep,
we love Awkwafina, right, guys?
Yeah, I don't have anything wrong with her.
Jacob, I don't really have that much wrong with her. I just kind of think she pops up in too many animated movies, and she always has the same voice. But anyways, Treasure Planet.
I know that. I was like, okay, well, there's Shishu, but that's Sisu. But oh my God, Jim Hawkins! There
right,
yes, there he is. There's the boy.
Which is probably just our kind of recording of Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
I mean, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's a cool guy. He might actually come in just to record that, though. I don't know. I mean, he's coming in for the Muppets. I don't know. He might come in. He might come in for it.
But he came in for the Muppets because that whole Muppet Money line is just iconic, and he probably knew it.
I mean, let's be honest. Joseph Gordon-Levitt really have that many better things to do these days because he did that Netflix show recently. But aside from that, I mean, I think he could spare it a little time.
All right.
Anyway, so let's see. So
what do I have to do? Just go woohoo!
Listen, JGL, you're having a good time. You're on the set again. Okay, just think back to when you record the movie. Just feel and just let the moment hit you. Okay, just go.
Woohoo!
All right, we got it. Okay. What, do I get paid? Yeah, you get paid. Not a lot, but you get paid. Okay.
All right. Z&K says Jim Hawkins to Maui to Aladdin. I get it because they all have the same directors.
And then, of course, they got Scott Wagner back to do Aladdin's voice.
Yes, as we very recently talked about him in Full House.
We have we have Vanellope in the car
with Dodger, which was a really cool pairing, and I think that pairing works so well, don't you guys?
Speaking of good pairings, Tiki, how did you feel about the next one? We had a combination of Pete's Dragon and Cody from Rescuers Down.
Yeah, no, that was really cool. And of course, I do like that they kind of dip into the live action / animation hybrid stuff a little bit. Obviously, Cody with the eagle is very iconic, so it's cool to see that replicated.
Oh yeah, like
speaking, I'm glad that the Rescuers Down Under is getting more love these days.
Oh, yeah, it was really nice to see like a little nod to the hybrid thing.
I mean,
we have that with.
I mean, we didn't get to see Marahute, but oh well.
Yeah,
but I mean, if we I think it's a really good way to work in Pete's Dragon, though.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But again, like between the Pete's Dragon thing, ultimately, that and Mary Poppins, which we'll get to later in a big way, it's kind of like the big animation, live action kind of blending. So it's kind of like, it's kind of synonymously we're blending all the mediums.
Then we get a very quick cameo from the Prep and Landing elves.
But they're my boys. There they are.
I don't think I even noticed them.
I was so thrilled to see them. I'm not kidding. I was like, oh my god, he worked them in there.
I didn't even notice them.
Yeah, they swoop down right after, right between Pete's Dragon and Moana.
They're probably in there because that was a big moment for them. They haven't really done a Christmas special since Mickey's Christmas Carol.
Prep and Landing. I love Prep and Landing though.
Yeah.
Right. And then upcoming is probably for me the biggest laugh.
This is a good
just helpless flounder, just like
water.
I love how concerned Moana is too.
I gotta tell you, man, Moana, the way they played her in this, it does make me kind of rethink like my feelings on the Moana movie. But you know what? It kind of makes me want to go back and watch Moana because man, she was really charming in that moment. She's trying to help that little fish,
And she went over to Merlin, who was like in the coffee stand.
I love Merlin being the barista. That's fucking awesome.
There's no time for tea.
Oh my god!
And then, of course, speaking of tea, we get to see the Mad Hatter once again.
Okay, this was so cool to me because Alan Tudyk, there are two people and two voices that he loves to do. He loves Gene Wilder, and he loves he loves Ed Wynn. Of course, he does a wonderful Ed Wynn impression, as we demonstrated with King Candy and Wreck-It Ralph, so he gets to do the actual Ed Wynn.
Ed Wynn is maybe one of the most fun celebrity impressions to do, just generally.
Life is for the living, Ralph.
Mustard! Now let's not be silly.
My fun dungeon.
It's a nice combination of things. He also worked in the obligatory Alan Tudyk cameo.
Yes.
In a really fun way. It's kind of giving him something he's really wanted for a long time.
And it's like, waiter, there's a carp in my cap.
It's delightful. That's what I'm saying, though. I think the point of this thing is also to reinvigorate, kind of like give you some good kind of nostalgic feels for last years without being purely member berries, as Tiki might put it.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Dragon. This, by and large, and Jacob, I'm sorry. I know you hate the member berries term. I'm very sorry. By and large, this whole thing is just member berries, but it's got a point, though. It's got a point.
They're very fresh member berries. They're very
right.
I mean, especially considering that they're just like only there very briefly and it's not extremely in your face.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like so far, it's like man, Moana might have been better than I give it credit for with like how this character they've crafted there and like.
Oh yeah, Dragon. My thing with Moana, it's a very well made movie. Like. I don't. It's too like by the books Disney for my taste. That's why I like Encanto so much.
I guess what I'm trying to get across here is less. I don't disagree with the Moana point. What I'm getting at is that
with the plot. Yeah, you're saying the character.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's just occurring to me while I'm watching is like, given where we're at now with Disney animation, it does make me look back on maybe comparatively I was a little harsher on the plot, just given those characters are really charming in that movie, and there's a lot of fun to be had in that, and like this kind of reminded me a little bit of that. I'm not saying I'm necessarily like Moana's like suddenly a better movie because I like that little gag that we had with Moana, but it does make it look in the grand scheme of things with the 100-year aspect, like compared to where we're at right now, to where we were a little while ago, maybe a little while ago, it wasn't as it was maybe the beginning.
Encanto is literally my sixth favorite of the Disney animation canon. Number 6, according to the Great Disney Ranking podcast. That was 2019. That wasn't that long ago.
I'm not saying there is. Well, that wasn't.
No, it was 2020, wasn't it?
Yeah, stop throwing all my numbers off.
And you know what they say, like even like good characters can save an otherwise forgettable product.
Exactly. So I think that's kind of there's a little bit of a redeeming value there, and it's kind of like, I don't know, it's.
I mean, I like Moana more than you do. I'm just saying in general.
I'm saying though, I don't know. It's not changing my opinion on the movie just because I saw one gag, but it's still just, it's kind of like, it was refreshing, It was kind of like it kind of made you think for a second. I really appreciate it. It's kind of giving you second thoughts on some films that you maybe turn your nose up at over the years with the Disney company. I don't know.
Like a cold drop of water.
Sure. Anywho.
Hey, we're better than your Madison pun earlier.
I'm not. Who's comparing puns? Why is there competition?
I'm not making a competition. I'm just saying.
It sounds like you are.
All right, but then what's next?
All right. So now here's something I gotta wonder. I think it's just like an aesthetic thing. They're just kind of throw in there. Do you think there's like an actual Lithwax arcade sign in the animation building? Do you think that's like?
I would love to see something. I would love that.
I don't know. That's a good question.
I would love to have them have like a little arcade up to the side to unwind.
Yeah. Now
I mean, Pixar is a cereal bar, so why not an arcade?
That's what I'm saying, because you think about it, Pixar is like the best, one of the best animation buildings ever.
Mm-hmm.
But you gotta imagine Disney would try to fund things up a little, because right now we have like the best museum ever on the inside of this animation building, all the archival stuff and the archival aspect, and the nice architecture. It's a nice building, but is it a fun building?
Do you guys know if they offer tours?
I know. I've looked into Pixar doing tours, and well, not necessarily. Usually,
yeah, I don't think officially. No,
they do press tours. They don't do like general tours for
yeah.
That's a shame because I would love to go on just a general tour of these.
Unfortunately, only the bloggers and the bloggers and the reviewers and stuff like that, like the high trafficking ones, get to go on like the press tours. That's really the best you're going to get there.
I know, but they'd make a killing if they offered general tours.
They would, but yeah.
The problem is, I think it would just interfere too much with the actual like day-to-day operation.
That's the main reason they've listed that. They usually when active productions are happening, they don't even have the press doing the tours.
Yeah,
so that's based on that logic. Yeah.
I mean, I know they could like do it in a way that doesn't disrupt activities or anything. But
anywho,
I know, but it's just wishful thinking more than anything else.
Stromboli versus the vending machine.
I love that.
Yes. Z&K says Stromboli insulting the vending machine is my favorite Walt era character with the most accurate animation. It's dead on Bill Titla.
It is, because he's getting
hard agree.
Yeah.
Speaking of Bill Titla, they even got Chernabog in here too.
All right, so Anna and Elsa, they're
Anna and Elsa, they're like, and Anna's like, do you think every villain will be here? It's like, not
Hans
all.
is about to sneak through the painting, and then Elsa very slyly she freezes him like, "No, Hans,
she's like,
you don't get to be in the picture."
That was nice.
All right, so I love the elevator gag.
yes.
Like the Donald.
Perfect selection of also disparate characters, but perfect characters all the same, because you have like Turks in the elevator. Carl the robot Jacob is in the elevator.
Yep, I noticed.
But of course,
Donald
Duck, and I love the mother. My favorite D is the Mother Gothels in the elevator too.
right.
But yeah, so Donald is wonderfully replicated. Donald, give him a perfect gag here. He's trying to be nice, but he's also very frustrated. Like hold the elevator, and it's Flash.
He's just
it's taking forever.
Hold the elevator.
Donald is being the everyman. Like we've all been there. Like you try to do something nice, and like. Argh.
And like I have this compulsion whenever I'm going somewhere, like I open a door and someone's behind me, I open it, then a bunch more people come out, I keep holding it open for them. It's just I know exactly what that's like.
Yep. All right. So Timon and Pumbaa, they're calling out Olaf, who's drawing the genie. He's trying to animate the genie.
It's like move your shake a leg. It's like Lake won't do anything. It's all in the
Okay,
wrist.
so importantly though, did you guys notice the lost boy that flies by?
Yes.
Do you know who that is?
No.
Dragon?
Well, honestly, I kind of missed the Lost Boy.
There's a lost boy that's in a little yellow tunic thing.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna love this.
What?
It's the Robin Williams character from an obscure Disney animation documentary.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
I believe it used to play at MGM Studios. It's called Back to Neverland.
Okay.
So yeah, I would say that right there is probably the deepest cut of the whole thing.
I'll give you that. That sounds pretty deep.
Uh-huh.
So the genie arises yet again. There's a big moment. Now this is important. The series are making a fine point of this because obviously they'd be under fire if this were the case. They've been saying, no, it's archival footage. It is not AI. We did not alter it. We did not replicate with a computer. It is just this is like some additional takes from Aladdin.
Right.
Which is cool, which is classic. If you're going to bring the genie back, that is probably the best way to do it. And
they explicitly got permission from his estate to do so.
Which is good, very important.
I'm glad they did that. Yeah.
Both approved by Zelda Williams, and also just for the heck of it, Jamie Costa. He approves of it.
Okay, let's see. Z and K says the fact that Nathan Lane came back and not Ernie Sabella, that's just as surprising as no Corey Burden. Normally it's the other way around.
Yeah.
All right.
But it is actually nice to have Nathan Lane back, considering he hasn't voiced him since 2004.
Also, I love the actor illusion between the Lost Boy before seeing Genie, and then Robin's Birdcage co-star sandwich between them.
Nathan Lane. Yeah,
that was fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I like Z and K. You were on point. There are all kinds of like little connections here with the scenes.
Yeah, so I like that the genie reassembles Olaf after he's been kind of like thrown, like taken apart, kind of Mr. Potato Head style. Reassembles. I'm like, I haven't seen a fall like that since Rome. All right, so then we have the men's room gag, the men's room mirror gag.
Like, no, everyone wants to be you, Gaston.
So let's see our lineup here. We got Prince. Was it Prince?
I
John?
love Prince John.
We got Prince John. We have the what was the Aristocat's name again?
Oh, Thomas O'Malley.
Yeah.
Abraham DeLacy, Giuseppe Casey, Thomas O'Malley.
Right.
Yes, I know. Yes, I know his full name.
Okay, Chicken Little.
Yep, Chicken Little. Milo
Thatch.
Love him. There he is.
There he is.
Randomly happy.
Yeah.
and of course, when Gaston is admiring himself in the mirror, we see the Cheshire Cat
And the Headless Horseman.
And the Headless Horseman.
Okay, that one's to me seeing the Headless Horseman was really funny. Just the fact that what he's looking in the mirror is just so funny. I love that gag so much. Okay, so yes, the Cheshire catches. Then Minnie is shielding her eyes. It's like, come on, guys,
let's move it, boys.
Like, let's move it, gentlemen. So we have Christopher Robin. If you're gonna do the Winnie the Pooh gag, this is kind of the way to do it. You have Christopher Robin and company pulling Pooh from the frame.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have Antonio from Encanto Tiki.
This is great. This is a great time gag. He's with the pig from Moana, the chameleon from Tangled,
Pastel.
The cricket from Mulan,
and the pig is named Pua.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Literally means pork in her language.
And Miko. I think that's his name, Miko, right? It's been a while.
The raccoon?
Yeah.
Yes, it's Miko.
All right. And so I like that they're all Disney animals that don't actually talk. I think that's a good tool.
Yeah.
And then don't eat those.
And then it's the mice from Cinderella being eaten by Joanna the Goanna.
By Joanna.
No,
Joanna. Yeah, go on, Jack.
No, I'm sorry. I love Pluto saving the day there, man. Pluto's gonna have an entrance. He's gonna save those little mice from Cinderella.
I love that they just give him like a little thumbs up.
Yeah, it's just so nice. Like, yeah, wait, Pluto, you're a good dog. Good on you, Pluto. Yeah.
Bill Farmer doing the voice of Pluto once again.
Mm-hmm. And we have like McBadger and company from Mr. Toad's from the Mister
Wind in the Willows.
Wind the Willows, yeah.
I was the willow.
Just Chaz Fencer outside the windows. I was the willow.
Oh God.
A long time ago.
Oh god.
Anyway, so let's see. So we have Kristoff and Sven. They're walking by. All the Dalmatian puppies are gathered, watching a scene from Fantasia, and they're warning, "I'll give you nightmares." And then we have. I gotta admit, I think the Trouble animation iffy for you guys. Like, what do you think?
I mean, it is kind of jarring considering like that they're watching the actual movie and then it cuts to like modern animation when it comes out of the TV.
Yeah.
It didn't bother me too much.
It's not bad, but it just
other Bill Tightla animation is much more accurate.
It's just no Stromboli, you know.
Yeah.
Stromboli.
Although keep in mind, we've seen Chernobog animated out of character a lot, like in House of Mouse and stuff like that.
There was more played for a joke though.
Right.
Here it's like they're trying to keep true to his character. That's why it's probably a bit more jarring.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, Bill, it was nice to see him like honor Bill Titla's work.
All right, so they run past Scrooge McDuck, who drops his money bags that Robin Hood and Little John then delightfully pick up.
Ooh, delally.
Ooh, delally.
Now, was Muppet Christmas Carol shown before Robin Hood?
What?
Was Muppet's Christmas Carol shown before Robin Hood?
I mean,
no.
They're both full movies. I think Robin Hood came first.
Muppet's Christmas Carol is not a full movie, Jacob. It was. I know.
You keep saying Muppet. Do you mean Mickey's?
Oh, Muppets! Oh my God! I'm sorry.
That's why you're throwing us off.
Dragon, we've literally done 3 podcasts on that movie. Okay,
I'm just thinking, like, does he have a head injury? Why does he keep saying it like that?
Mickey's Christmas Carol. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's a better question, Jacob. Do you know?
What was the question again?
Was Mickey's Christmas Carol released in front of Robin Hood?
I don't think so.
Okay.
All right.
I want to say it was Oliver and Company. Oliver, I think Great Mouse Detective was Mickey and the Prince and the Pauper.
Because Robin Hood came out in the 70s. I think that Mickey's Christmas Carol was in the 80s.
I think you're right.
I'm going to say Mickey's Christmas. Think about this. Mickey's Christmas Carol has animation that's far better than Robin Hood. So based on that logic, you'd imagine it would come after Robin Hood.
But yeah, it is a brilliant parody, though. Z&K, you're right about that.
It's a Baymax.
And speaking of which, though, I would have just loved to see an interaction between Robin Hood and Nick from Zootopia.
That would have been fun.
Considering that's basically the inspiration for Zootopia.
Like, $2, what's wrong with you? Just if you're gonna take, just take, man.
Oh, it was in front of the Rescuers, so it was 77. It was kind of in the era.
I don't know. I guess I was wrong about the quality thing.
It was like with the Rescuers re-release.
Rescuers Down Under was that's interesting that Prince and the Pauper was with Rescuers Down Under. That's interesting.
Because December is released with the re-release of the Rescuers. Because Christmas Carol came out in '83.
Z&K says Donald just seething with fury as soon as Flash enters.
And what could possibly make this elevator ride more just inconvenient?
Baymax
and big old inflatable Baymax is crushing everyone in the elevator.
He's like, hey, I mean, at least he can squeeze in.
Oh, come on.
At least Baymax can squeeze.
True. Okay, so let's see. So Splat from most recent pool of all, well, one of the most recent pools of all of them. Not the most recent pool, but Splat from
Strange World.
From Strange World shows up and is in love with Ursula.
Oh, no.
Oh, I love that.
I have to assume there's some archival Pat Carroll in that one.
Yep.
Wait a minute, hold on. Did we miss the Prince Charming bit?
Well, no, it's about to come up, Tiki.
Okay, just checking.
We have this really nice bit with Cinderella and Prince Charming, which is a charming bit where Prince Charming.
This honestly is one of my favorite moments in the whole thing.
So they're walking down the stairs, and Charming loses his shoe. And it's like, oh, it's a how about that kind of laugh between the two. And then I believe Eric's dog from Little Mermaid, Max.
Like, Max, like, Eric, get your dog.
Get your dog.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Let's see. So, Ka, this is real. Okay, so this is great. So Ka is hypnotizing Clarabelle, and Mickey. I love Mickey.
Just Clarabelle in general is a good pull too. She's not necessarily deep cut, but she's definitely like out of the original cartoon lineup. She's one of them that doesn't really get as much love.
And even someone who gets even less than her is Horace Horsecollar.
Right.
Hit it, Horace. Bam.
I hate that saying.
Okay, so this is going to sound like a stretch, but I love the delivery on Mickey here, which I think facilitates the next bit very well. Where Mickey says, "Yeah, you said you stop that right now, Ka." Because it sounds like it just sounds.
It sounds like Walt Mickey. I hear you.
Yeah,
I hear you.
It sounds like Walt era Mickey, and it's kind of Mickey as the boss, like being real authoritative, but it's still being the innocent Mickey Mouse voice. Like, hey, you stop that right now.
And then Rapunzel's like, "Don't worry, Mickey, I got this."
Good old Rapunzel, like saving.
I feel like Rapunzel just using her frying pan is like the perfect use of her. I think.
And then just like wax Ka.
This is gonna be a bigger stretch. I wonder if there's maybe a social commentary on that. We're hitting Ka, who's trying to hypnotize, like a kind of a female animated character, and doing God knows what. Who knows?
I think that might be a bit of a stretch.
I know it's a stretch. It's a stretch for sure. I don't know. I'm just saying it's like kind of a heroic bit for Rapunzel. I don't know. Anyway, just bam, hits Ka. Ka always doing this to everyone though, so it's a stretch. Point being, we hit Ka on the head.
Yeah.
Then we have the moment.
Yes. Really quick with Ka. One of the crossovers I think that would have been fun is Winnie the Pooh and Ka. Just saying.
Also, the stork from Dumbo.
Right. It'd be like the whole Family Guy, like, "Hey, you sound like me. No, you sound like me."
Well, we never met before.
Oh yeah, Mr.
I still love that bit so much. I still love that bit. So Tiki, did I ever tell? I'm sure I've told you this. They came up with that gag on a commentary, and you can see the formation.
Oh yeah, I know. I rember the commentary.
Right?
That they came up with it at. Yeah.
Great. Okay. So so we have this moment we're hearing a familiar song, which, by the way, fun fact, they brought in Richard Sherman to recompose.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It just feels like they had to at this point.
So Mickey.
So I love that they use "Feed the Birds" here. I mean, it's
favorite
goddamn. It's so fucking true to the lore and the legacy of the company. I think
it hits on a number of levels because one, it's a good song, it's emotional. It kind of, I think, thematically it plays in the whole the purpose of what we're doing with the blending of mediums and the Mary Poppins thing. So it's very thematic in that case, and also Walt's favorite song, and it just feels right.
And and it's kind of the bittersweetness when he's like when it's like, "Mickey, come on!" Like, "I gotta go, but thanks."
On with the show.
Yeah,
but those lines,
it's great.
Honestly,
honestly, for as much shit as Disney has gotten themselves into in the past year, it's like that moment, I think, collectively for Disney fans kind of washes away a lot of the cynicism, I think.
Those three lines, again, it's an emotional scene with those three lines. Again, it's kind of summarize the man's work. Gotta go. The man had to go too soon, but he had to go. Thanks. Just what the whole thing's about, but also Mickey's gratitude to Walt and the enduring legacy. And on with the show. We got to keep it going.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of things that move me to tears in such a way, but that kind of came close.
Yep. All right, so everyone's lined up along the stairway about to march, almost like kids doing a fire drill or something. They're all about to march on out and get ready for the big picture time. Let's see. So there's a few people in the line. We see Kronk. We see bowler hat guy.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yep. Let's see. So we have Mickey riding Dumbo all the way down, which is a nice choice.
And I love the line people have the queue down the stairs.
Okay, here's something I wonder if you guys had. One, I don't like Pete's outfit.
Pete's outfit. I'd have to go back and look at it.
I mean, you can see it like he's right behind Mickey. It's like the classic orange outfit.
Well, behind Minnie and Goofy, so he's kind of wearing this like orange.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I mean that's one of his like classic outfits, though.
Yeah, I don't know. It's.
To be fair, Goofy's not his like traditional orange get up.
That kind of bothered me a little to a lesser degree. It's like, why couldn't we color him the traditional thing? But
ZK agrees with you.
That's what I'm saying. It's just, also, here's the other thing that occurred to me. I wonder if you guys had this more.
And technically, the only character who was in their quote unquote accurate colors is Donald.
That's true.
True. So here's the thing I really wonder, though, less about the wardrobe, more, but isn't it weird, like the scaling of Pete? Because so many times we scale him differently. It's like sometimes he's like huge. I mean, here's the thing. We're playing with scales with all of these Disney characters because they have to figure, okay, what's true to the character, but also how they would actually stack up against all these other Disney characters, like scale wise, like in terms of height. It's like Pete compared to Mickey does feel kind of giant, like as we've portrayed him before, and he always has to be imposing, but he's also pretty much the same height as Goofy, if not like a few inches taller. So there's that. So if you look, so he's scaled to be the same height as Goofy, but then you have like all these other characters that are roughly a little bigger. It's interesting.
I mean, to be fair, like other stuff, he has been shown to be about the same height as Goofy.
Yeah,
like in other media.
Yeah. So I'm thinking like get that horse where he's kind of towering. It's the thing, but that's compared to Mickey though.
Get a horse, you mean?
Yes, get a horse. Yeah. Anywho. So, okay, so they're all lining up. You have Flynn Rider, you have Max. 2 Maxes in this, but no Max Goof.
Yep.
So we got the dog, we got the horse. We don't have the other dog. We don't have the dog man named Max. The dog boy, depending on your
Maximus the horse.
Yep. We don't have Maximilian Goof. Anyway, so Ralph. Oh, let's talk about the Ralph gang.
Oh my god, dude. It's such a fucking perfect line for Ralph.
I'm so happy they got away with this. He bumps into the glass door. I love how concerned Mickey is, by the way.
You okay, Ralph?
It's never better, Garfield.
Oh my god.
Oh my lord.
That is like just such a John C. Reilly line, just in general.
Yep. So then Scar, surrounded by idiots, and then he's interrupted by Mr. Toad. Right?
No, I would have thought that was just a reused take, except he gets cut off. So it's like clearly it's a new recording of the line.
And then we give Mr.
Is that he actually finishes the line? So they did get Jimmy Irons.
Right, yeah.
To say it. So Mr. Toad gets to go on a wild magic carpet ride. It's nice. Anyway, so Goofy, it's so, I find it so funny that of all the characters, obviously it's perfect for our purposes here, but you think logically, why would they pick Goofy of all the characters here? And trust him with taking the picture.
Setting the timer. Fix-It Felix would have probably been a good character to do it to begin with.
True. So Goofy, Goofy's he's.
So can we talk about how fucking great the slapstick animation is on Goofy?
wait, before Goofy, remember when he enters frame, we have this great gag where he almost decapitates Ichabod Crane.
Right.
Which is great, just the fact that Ichabod's like ducks, so against the whole behead. It's a nice reference to the potential beheading of Ichabod Crane from Sleepy Hollow, which I really appreciated.
And
they mimic the animation of the whole after he does like the singing class, the whole me 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 me, where he's like looking around, like, am I still doing that? Like he's feeling around for the head still. All right. Anyway, so then the fairies.
The ladder. I was like, oh yeah, the fairies. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
We have like the. Let's do it. Now, this one's, I think, is an archival. Like,
it's definitely archival, yeah.
So why else make it pink? Like, what? Come on. Let's make it pink. Let's make it blue.
It's a nice little gag, though.
Sure. Okay. So they're all gathered for the most epic group shot since the end of the Muppet movie. We have Cusco and Pacha down front. We have Captain Hook and Smee on the side there. Now, this is really clever. Oswald the Lucky Rabbit.
When I first saw it, I was like, oh, Oswald!
Did you remember Mickey's line?
Not off the top of my head. I know it's something like very fitting.
Jacob?
Something
on.
like after you or something like
No,
that.
that's it. That's exactly. He
Yeah,
says after you, so in a sense, like I came after you.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
All right, so
But-
Rafiki hands Goofy. Yeah.
But Oswald's back where he belongs.
Yes.
And then you said Rafiki's like, it is time. As he hands Goofy the camera.
Yep. So again, very bad idea handing Goofy the camera. So he's
And again, like the animation of him climbing the ladder is, I don't know why, it just fucking just hits me in the funny bone, man. It's just like it is so chaotic.
In case like currently in Poland's oldest first, which should be Pete. Technically, Pete did come first in the Alice comedies.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, yeah.
Speaking of which, we didn't actually. Did we see Alice in this? I mean, I know we obviously saw the Mad Hatter, but I don't remember seeing Alice.
I don't think we actually saw Alice.
I mean, she's bound. Well, we see all the other Alice in Wonderland characters. I mean, she's got to be there in like the 500 characters, right? Like somewhere.
She's probably in the group shot, I would think.
Yeah, that's what I mean. She's got to be in there somewhere.
Yeah, but that's hard to tell where she is.
Okay, with Louisa carrying the livestock characters, is she carrying any of the Home on the Range
Yeah,
characters?
no, she's carrying all the Home on the Range characters.
Okay, good.
Like, all three of them. Like that's the gag. She's carrying
I'm glad that movie actually got in there.
She's carrying them and then the brother bear mooses or mooses or you know what I mean.
It's just moose. The plural moose is moose.
Fine. So, let's see. So anyway, then we have again things. Goofy's looking wobbly. I love the animation because I love that he's there. You got Tarzan.
I love how
and
Goofy
Genie.
is he's so carefree and careless with the camera. Like he just does not give a shit.
And then the ladder's like moving around like back and forth, like, and he's somehow just maintaining balance throughout all of it.
Just the physics of that is just delightful.
You have the detail of Tarzan and Jane are looking a little like, oh no, this is probably going to end well. And Iago, again, this is a nice posthumous tribute to Gilbert Gottfried. Now I wonder if
it wasn't Gilbert Gottfried. Somebody doing it with like Peter Michael voicing him.
Oh really?
Yeah.
No, I was one. Oh well, okay. Well, regardless, it's it's a little tribute. Just hearing Iago again, having it did sound flawless like Gottfried, so I'll give him that. So that was good. So you have Iago going 3, 2, 1, and then of course Goofy falls. He does the iconic yell, which you had to have. You have to have the Yahoo! Yep, the fall and the camera breaks. Stitch, he tries to eat some pieces of the camera.
I love Lilo just dragging him away. Like she's just been through this routine a million times with him.
It's like she's used to it by this point.
In our 8 minutes short, we've reached the low of lows, where it's like, Eeyore brings down the room brings down like the
oh my god,
dude,
that is such an Eeyore line.
It's like, maybe
I guess we'll try again the next 100 years.
Maybe we can try again another 100 years. It's his delivery that makes it.
I got to admit, I think we could have done a better Eeyore voice.
I mean, he sounded pretty close.
I don't know. Did he though?
Yeah, to the original one. Yeah, I mean, he didn't sound like the Bud Lucky one, but he did.
I would have gone Brad Garrett on that one.
Okay, no, come on. I mean, Dragon, we love Brad Garrett, but come on, that is not original Eeyore.
He sounds he sounds very similar to the original Eeyore.
All right.
I think you're nitpicking here, Dragon.
Oh, I'm nitpicking. Oh, sure. Yeah, great.
I think we could have gotten Peter. Yeah, it would have been nice to get Peter Cullen, but
Anyway, the point being, look, it's a fine Eeyore. I haven't heard the original Eeyore in a long time. I'm thinking the Brad Garrett Eeyore and the Bud Lucky Eeyore. All right, so sue me. All right, fine.
All right.
You know what? I think I'm going to, Dragon.
We have Rohit here, so you might be able to
draft it. Yeah, I think I'm going to contact Rohit right now.
Let's see who Rohit's really loyal to. When the chips are down, we'll see whose lawyer he's going to be.
Well, it's whoever gets whoever sends the lawsuit first.
Oh my god! All right.
Anyway,
Rohit, where are you?
we're gonna get a whole divorce court just to get Rohit to pick a side. It's gonna be
Oh my god!
Now, Rohit, who reached out to you first? Well,
Rohit, you and I have the same movie tastes.
Who's rescheduled on you? God knows how many times.
That's true. That is fair. That is very fair on my end.
Yep.
All right, moving on.
Who gives you a guff?
All right,
Anyway,
but
so
then of course after all that, and then we hear hear the banjo. Or
I
the,
love how Alan a fucking Dale.
yeah,
I don't know why I included the fucking in there. I'm sorry.
Alan
it's very
Adale.
unnecessary. T. Come on.
I know it was
He's a
unnecessary.
rooster who plays. Yeah, he's a rooster who
I'm
plays
sorry.
music. Okay.
It just sounds like Alan is fucking a Dale.
Why you gotta sully everything, man? You sullier.
But yes, Alan Adale of all the characters is the one who kicks off when you wish upon a star.
Which I thought was a very nice touch.
Yeah.
It's like because like how nice and cozy.
I would wear a shirt with Alan O'Dale.
I like just how cozy the whole like Oodalade is. Like, and then he just kicks off the "When You Wish Upon a Star."
Then we hear others joining. I think some more Aristocats.
Aristocats,
Mirabelle.
Yeah, Mirabelle with her accordion. Yeah.
Yes, Scat Cat was the next to join after Alan Adale.
Yeah, Paige O'Hara as Belle. She's singing, and then the rest join in like the Beast, and then we have. I also want to just showing them there. Lewis and Will Robinson.
Also, Pecos frickin' Bill. That was a surprise, considering that's the one Disney movie that's not on Disney Plus.
Yeah, it is pretty interesting. I mean, we know this thing like isn't exclusively a Disney Plus thing, but
Well, no, I'm just saying, like there's 59 out of the 60. Like they had room to not include Make Mine Music if they wanted to.
it is a kind of odd exclusion.
Yeah. Well, I honestly kind of get it. There is some pretty racy stuff in Make Mine Music. I really like Make Mine Music, but
That's not one of the most impressive cameos we were really getting here, though. James Woods returning as Hades.
He's like, oh, I knew this would happen.
So one,
wait, hold on. C&K was I'm sorry. Was Make Mine Music? I thought Pecos Bill was from Make Mine Music, not Melody Time. Am I mistaken there? Anyways, I'm sorry, Dragon. Yes, Hades. Yes, I'm terribly sorry.
It's wonderful to have James Woods come back as Hades. It's a little questionable whether or not they bring him back these days, but still, the fact they got him back is a great line.
I mean, you know what? It's just one line. It's just one line.
It's just the fact that it doesn't matter. People like Hades. Let's just bring him back.
And you know he'll come back anytime he's asked. He loves
exactly because he likes that character, so it's fine. You know,
it's his favorite character of all time.
Yeah, so I mean, let's let him play him. You know, it's the fun that he comes in. It's a great line. Let's just let it be. You know, he just says.
He's like, I knew this would happen.
You know what? You know who I realized isn't there? That's kind of a shame. They might be in the background somewhere, but the three
Caballeros.
Yes, thank you.
You mean Jose?
You're not even trying anymore.
You mean Jose and Panchito?
Yeah. They might be in the group shot, but it's a shame that they didn't get a standout moment.
I mean, if anything, they should have been with Donald.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But then again, Donald's elevator gag was perfect, though. So
it was, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they're trying to find Donald. I don't know.
To be fair, there could also been some of the musicians joining in too.
That's true. They could have been some of the musicians joining in. That's a missed opportunity.
Well, I was kind of fanboying at the inclusion of, because it was like one of those things where you realize just long enough you've seen all these characters, and the one character you weren't quite thinking about, but you were feeling like there's something kind of missing here, and they showed up. Quasimodo.
Yes, Tom Hulse. I feel like out of all the returning voice actors, he is the most hype worthy.
No one ever gives Quasimodo his due, and this actually gives him his due. And Quasimodo has a beautiful singing voice, and he got to sing it.
Little Blue does say the Caballeros are present here.
There you go. Anyway,
I mean, again, it's like I'm sure most every notable character is present, but it's like I feel like there's a slight difference from being present and actually having a bit.
And I mean, but seeing Quasimodo is like, they actually got it back, yeah. And you even got to see the gargoyles to the side, which is nice.
Yep. Then we had Ariel singing. Now here's an actual nitpick I do have. The other stuff is just more surface level, but here's an actual.
You're not crazy about the scuttle gag?
No, well, I don't really. I thought I thrilled with it, but it's not my gripe. But fine.
At least it's not Aquafina scuttle.
Sure. Well, anyway. Here's my gripe. I think it was a mistake to have Baloo sing with Jim Cummings doing his voice.
Why would you rather have John Goodman?
Honestly, yes. If I given the choice,
But
yeah.
again, that was a Disney Toon movie.
Well, still, I mean, it's
And-
Baloo though.
And of course, you get Jim Cummings like singing as Pooh. So
yeah, oh, that's perfect. That's fine. I'm just saying. I don't know. This might have been. I don't know if it's the first time ever he's done it or not. But Jim Cummings' voice in Baloo, hearing him sing, it just sounded like that's not Baloo singing. That was like everything else feels like congruous. Like that's how these characters sound. But
Dragon, I am actually kind of with you. That was like it didn't feel that close to the original. I hear you.
It's less. And here's the thing: it's less an
Mowgli
issue.
kind of sounds off too, honestly.
Well, that one's like Mowgli. There's only so much you can do with Mowgli. But
Yeah,
the
I know
issue-
it's hard. Yeah,
The issue is less. It's just less like Jim Cummings doing the voice of Baloo. It's just more like, okay, so Baloo is very known for singing, so we know how that's supposed to sound, and we have
like Phil Harris.
exactly. So we know how Phil Harris sounds singing as Baloo. It's a huge iconic center point of that film. And
sure.
we're going to give him like this big moment in the song, one of the big lines of the song there, and it's going to sound because of that. I think it's shining a light on something we should have like kind of swept under the rug a little bit. Like, okay, so he's there, but we're going to give him the big singing part. It's like that was going to shine. Yeah, that sounds like everything else sounds so like on the money, and that's like the one bit where it's like the record skips, just for a mere moment, but it skips.
And then we get Fix-It Felix fixing the camera.
I like in parallel to the lyrics, it's fate is kind, so the brooms are sweeping up and Fix-It Felix is being kind and fixing it right up using his hammer.
Oh yeah.
And Goofy's got his camera fixed, and the fairy godmother lends him an assist and hoists him up there so he can hit the little timer.
And it's lifted up onto the ladder as well.
Yep. So you have Snow White, Mulan, and then the Wish Lady.
Asha.
I know. Asha. Now I know it's Asha, but yeah. So Asha's there. That one feels very much like, and we got her at the last possible second, just to try and like, hey kids, who's this? You want to know more about her, don't you? See the movie. See the movie. We got her. She made the cut. Watch the movie with her.
I'm sorry, Dragon. Did you mention Sebastian playing the harp?
I did not mention it, but I did see that. Yeah,
that was that was really nice. Again, a good way to get fun and fancy free in there in some form too.
Yeah,
and I do really love how like the finale of the song is basically archival recordings of the original "When You Wish Upon a Star."
Yeah.
With Jiminy Cricket
and Cliff Edwards doing the song.
Yeah, baby.
Okay. How perfect was it that Fix-It Felix comes in to fix the camera?
As I mentioned earlier, it was actually really great.
I thought that was a perfect beat, man.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, with his hammer, and it fixes it, and there's that big grin on his face. Yep. And of course, like we said, Jim Cummings singing as Winnie the Pooh.
Mm-hmm. So then we have Jiminy come in after Winnie the Pooh there. So we end like the most innocent, wholesome characters. You have Winnie the Pooh, and then we're going to Jiminy Cricket, who gave us a song in the first place.
Also, Dragon, really quick, in the scene where we have Asha, is that her name, Asha?
Yeah,
Asha.
Yeah.
Okay, we also have the Black Cauldron characters.
A lion, Princess Lion Wing as well. I noticed that. Like they're even acknowledging Disney rarely acknowledges the Black.
I know, no.
Now
like besides Song of the South, the Black Cauldron is one of those things where it's like they'll put it on Disney Plus, but they do not like to talk about it.
Now with the Black Cauldron that being worked in there, that's just them. Like, see, we didn't forget. Sort of the right there.
Right.
Yeah, we put them in the background of the big closer, so no one gripe about it. It's right there.
Also, Lambert the Sheepish Lion.
Like, I wonder what Ferdinand the Bull's missing. That's another notable short that's kind of missing from this.
Wait, what?
Ferdinand the Bull.
Well, that one might be like there's the other animated Ferdinand movie, so probably.
Yeah, that might be. But yeah, it's like Black Cauldron's underrated.
Yes, and also Pocahontas.
It's a really good 80s fantasy movie.
It is.
And Pocahontas got her moment singing too. Like, okay, there's Pocahontas.
And of course, with the wind blowing.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Jimmy brings it on home. We have the literal money shot. Like all the money in that
The
shot.
big character that I'm kind of surprised made it into the money shot is just because he's so prominent is Aladar.
From Dinosaur. Yeah, that is kind of it is kind of surprising, but it was their first CG film, so
yeah.
They can't leave it out.
I'm surprised they put so much Riot characters in this too. Like when I look on the left, just seeing seeing them there.
I love how I love how the Dalmatian puppies are spread out across the entirety of the bottom.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. So anyway, so then Tinkerbell kind of mimics our Flash here when she kind of flies out, and we see the final product.
Unfortunately, I couldn't find a good if she appears in the shot, it's because the background becomes kind of blurry, but you can kind of see her kind of above the B here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there wasn't a good shot of actually her in it and without blurring the rest of the character.
Now let me ask you this, guys: do you think she's in the actual picture, or do you think it's like she's out of the pictures to do that gag at the end?
Well, I mean, you see the picture framed up in the final shot, and she's not in it. So
I mean, Tiki, it's the fact that she might be there, but she's really small. Is what I'm getting at.
Okay.
She might actually be in the photo. I don't know if she's in both the photo and doing the little gag at the end. That's what I'm wondering.
All right, I don't know. Also, I'm just gonna have a little nitpick with the group shot. I'm not crazy about how much real estate Ryan the Last Dragon takes up.
Yes, Dick, we brought that up. Yes, they're in the corner there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a whole chunk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So also, I do like that we bring it full circle with Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell is just kind of like the opener and the closer.
Yep.
I'm kind of surprised we didn't do more with Yensid. Now that I think about it.
That is pretty interesting. That
I think he wasn't he with Merlin at the? I saw him in the back.
No, he's definitely not with Merlin. He's in the group shot, but I think that's it.
Okay, I just saw him walking around somewhere else.
I would have loved to see him interact with Mickey.
Well, that's the thing, yeah.
And that would have been a perfect time to bring in Corey Burton.
It would have been nice. What? Okay, if you had a moment when they're all walking out, you had Yinsen walking and looking up, and he looks at the animation built in the shape of a head, and he gives like a yeah, just like that's my head.
he finally approves of Mickey or says something nice for Mickey or whatever.
Or okay, they never do this, but imagine this: like Mickey's having his moment looking at Walt, and Yinsen just kind of shows the whole Disney backwards thing, like pats him on the back.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like
would have taken away the intimacy of the moment, but
I mean, considering he was kind of modeled after Walt himself.
Well, he wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't kind of modeled after Walt. He was modeled after Walt.
How much of that is actually confirmed versus hearsay?
I mean,
it's more or less confirmed, Dragon.
Yeah, maybe not in terms of his overall design, but in his mannerisms and
the eyebrows, especially.
Yeah, because a famous story, when Yensen's peering behind Mickey, raising the eyebrows, Walt would do that.
Okay.
And apparently, and ZNK is confirming that you can see Yensid right next to Sisu.
No, again, I know he's in the group shot. Again, there's a difference between popping up in this group photo and actually having a bit.
And we put him next to Aquafina.
Sisu. The name is Sisu.
I know it is Sisu. Just saying, in the grand scheme of things, we put him next to Aquafina. Anywho. Right. So then we have our ending quote.
It's the ending quote. To all who have imagined with us, laughed with us, and dreamed with us.
Thank you. Wise words.
Final thoughts, guys?
But Dragon, final thoughts?
Yeah, I'm pretty head over heels for this. Again, my only real criticism is that Baloo gag, but aside from that, it's a slam dunk. I think we done good. I think we done pretty good here. It was, it's a thing that makes you appreciate how far the company's come, and again, there have been some highs and there've been some lows. But at the end of the day, it's supposed to be top tier animation. At least we have a short that is indeed top tier animation, kind of celebrating all the ways and winding paths and getting there. 100 years later.
All right. this is a short that was basically 100 years in the making. Like it's a monumental achievement, and they exist. And it basically, though it doesn't highlight everything the studio has done, basically, like all encompassing and everything, it's a good testament to what's been going up to basically the beloved characters that we've known through, and the world has known for the past 100 years. So here's to another 100, Disney. Thank you very much. Thank you for everything.
All right. So big thanks to Z and K and a Little Blue for joining us in the comments. Well, that'll do it for us tonight as we holster our remotes till the next installment calls for the draw. Mano y mano. Just Plus. And us.
And I can't whistle.
Do that.